Think you can satisfy me, little kittens?
I'll handle this.
Let's see you live through this! Plasma storm!
My turn. You're in the shoe! Crystal Saber!
Here we go!
The winds grant me your strength! Calamity!
Go! Sorry.
Understood. Behold the might of the Arcade School! Radiant Blade Dance!
Aren't you feisty? We'll see how long that lasts.
My turn. Counting on ya. I'll take it from here. Rise, great towers! Lord of Varian! Rest in peace.
How about this?
My turn. I leave this to you.
I've got this! Flames, gather on my blade!
It's my turn. Can you handle this?
Come on, Lammy! Come on, Lammy!
How humiliating.
Well, that's that. Let's get going.
I've only just begun. No!
Systems deactivated. Oh, thank goodness.
Ah, you got me. Shouldn't have expected any less from the ace of the 4th Armored Division. Or from Sylphid. The rest of you weren't half bad either.
I can't believe you could take on this many of us at once.
You are one tough old bear.
Neidhart here. We've regained control of the left railway gun.
And we've deactivated the right wing's railway gun over here. Good work.
We did it.
Oh, thank goodness.
My. You can hardly call our crossing paths coincidence at this point. Oh well, no matter. Everything played out just like C said it would, both here and in Crossbell.
What are you talking about?
Comrade S. can they still move?
We'd completely incapacitated them.
Go, Comrade S! Regroup with Comrades C and V and bring the hammer down once and for all!
That's the plan. Well, I'll catch you all in the great beyond.
What? No!
She wouldn't.
Damn.
My name is Seal, leader of the Imperial Liberation Front. Allow me to extend my congratulations. You did well, fending off our two-pronged attack here and in Crossrail. But you would be foolish to assume this is the end of it. The Hammer of Judgment shall fall again. I'm ready. Are you?
How can this be? So this is the Imperial Liberation Front. They're even more brazen than I'd heard.
So C was here after all.
Who is he anyway? What's he hiding? Even the intelligence division's drawing a blank trying to gather info on him.
At least this time we managed to capture some of them alive. And they will talk. What the hell? Is this poison?
What?
This is bad. Looks like these guys all swallowed neurotoxin capsules. I don't think we're gonna be able to save them. I doubt it'll work, but I'm gonna try to neutralize the poison. Emma, if you got any herbs you think might help, give me a hand here.
Of course!
Do you think they'll pull through?
Not sure. I'd give them 50-50 maybe.
Even if we can keep them alive, there's no guarantee they'll regain consciousness. No!
Why? Why would they go this far? These are the kinds of people we're dealing with.
With some quick thinking, hard fighting, and a little luck, we were able to stop a potentially devastating terrorist attack in its tracks. But with the political climate as it was, this incident, overshadowed by the crisis in Crossbell, was never made public. In the days that followed, we still felt shaken, our eyes newly opened to the dangers facing our homeland, both outside and within.
Keep up the good work! Good showing, everyone.
Half a month after the incident at Corellia Fortress, a sense of lingering unease still hung over the Empire. The government increased patrols by the Railway Military Police as part of their counter-terrorism measures. while the noble faction bolstered their provincial armies. There were even rumors that they'd hired several Jaeger corps. At the center of everything was the Imperial Liberation Front. They had allied with a terrorist group from the Republic of Calvard to attack the trade conference in Crossbell, and as we'd seen firsthand, had attacked Corellia Fortress in an attempt to fire the 2 railway guns stationed there. They'd made it abundantly clear that they were no mere insurgents. These were dangerous people we were dealing with. And following their attempts to target Chancellor Osborne and the Reformist faction, rumors started to spread of a possible connection between the Imperial Liberation Front and the noble faction itself. Meanwhile, new information was filtering in from Crossbell that surprised us all. During the conference, one of the representatives of Crossbell's state government made the daring declaration that Crossbell would soon declare its independence, breaking free from its neighbors Calvard and Erebonia. To no one's surprise, both the Imperial government and the noble faction dismissed it as nothing more than delusional raving. But one thing was clear: that declaration only served to increase the tension in Erebonia and across the continent. On a cool, clear autumn day, the Academy's prestigious board of directors gathered for their first meeting of the year.
And that concludes my biannual report.
Good, good. It seems the Academy is running like a well-oiled machine. No administrative issues to speak of. Student performance is sitting comfortably above the national average on exams and on general aptitude tests, too.
The second-year students seem to be having a banner year as well. The Student Council President, in particular, has built up an outstanding array of extracurricular achievements.
Well, she attended last month's trade conference, and from what I hear, she put the professional secretaries to shame. I only wish the conference could have ended on a more positive note.
I'll say, the share prices of my company have been on a real roller coaster ride ever since.
Undoubtedly, what happened at the trade conference has wreaked havoc on the economy as a whole. But moving on. I couldn't help but notice in the recent exam reports that Class 1 and 2's academic performance seems to be slipping. Perhaps the preferential treatment given to the upper-class students is hindering their scholastic development?
Well, students belonging to the nobility are allowed to return home during August to learn more about their family's lands. It's a tradition here, but one I can't help but wonder if we've outgrown the need for in this modern age.
If I may, traditions accumulate and hold meaning only so long as they're preserved. Our nation's culture, its arts, its social classes, all are rich with tradition that makes Erebonia what it is, and I believe we have a duty to protect and uphold them. After all, does not this very institution champion the ideals of its founder, Emperor Dreigels?
Indeed it does. Though I've always understood Dreigel's intent to be the founding of an academy for the people. Even 200 years ago, when education was seen as the province of the nobility, male commoners were permitted to enroll. Today, we have plenty of young women attending, and the commoners easily outnumber the nobles on campus. Perhaps it's time we started taking strides to realize Emperor Dreigel's true ideal.
You seem to be laboring under a few misconceptions here. Commoners were permitted to attend, but only as retainers. Retainers served knights, who served lords, who served the emperor. That's the way the Erebonian society functioned. From that vantage, the structure of the academy in its earlier days certainly seems to have embodied that social order. And if that's so, what is there to suggest that it's not the social order itself that has become the aberration?
Well, for one, if that were the case, it would be far easier for me to see my views put into practice. But I can hardly get a word in edgewise between you two. Well, I'd certainly enjoy a return to the way things were in Dreikel's time, at least in that particular respect.
Our apologies, Your Highness.
Well, our role here is to consider your views and work toward implementing them.
See what I mean? Would you be so kind as to help me out here, Principal?
I'm here to moderate this board. It wouldn't do for me to express my position on the issues at hand. That said, I'm sure your passion for reform will triumph in the end, Your Highness.
I suppose I should have known better than to look to my old teacher for sympathy.
It warms my heart to see such a fine teacher-student relationship.
Now, if I may, I'd like to steer this discussion toward a rather timely topic. We've already touched on the issues regarding the Orbal Net and the Orbal Staves, but I'd like to stress again that the adoption of new security measures for the Orbal Net should be a top priority.
Well, I'm certainly inclined to agree. But we'll have to rely on the Foundation directly, as things are looking a little shaky with the IBC.
You can leave that to me. The other matter I'd like to review is the use of the Orbal Staves and the Arcus units. Or more specifically, we need to talk about how Class 7 should operate from here on out. Setting aside the fact that my daughter is a member of Class 7, I think we need to reconsider how the class should be run in light of what happened at Corellia Fortress. While it certainly proved an excellent chance to see what the Arcus units are capable of, I have serious doubts about whether we should carry on with these field studies, given the current political climate.
It would be difficult to do so, I admit. With the terrorists at large and the problems in Crossbell unresolved, these are uncertain times.
At the very least, I believe it may be in the class's best interest to cancel this month's field study. We could always resume them once the terrorists have been arrested and the situation in Crossbell calms down.
Arise, O youth, and become the foundation of the world. I'm sure you all recognize the words of Emperor Dreikel's. They've become something of a school motto here. It's my belief that Class 7's actions at Corellia Fortress perfectly embody the spirit of that directive. They stood together to stop a tragedy in the making and, in a sense, protected the foundation of our world. No one ordered them to do it. They took action of their own free will, because they knew in their hearts what was right. Some might call it recklessness. Some may think it rash. Some may even venture to call it hubris. However, as chairman of this academy, I'm incredibly proud of what the brave young men and women of Class 7 achieved.
Your Highness.
Troubled times may lay in store for Erebonia, and for the entire continent in the months and years to come. But I believe that makes something like Class 7's field studies all the more significant. The experiences they're having now will help them find the strength and the means to press on through adversity. I can't be the only one who feels this way, can I?
They do seem to be showing remarkable growth. That much is true. Although I have no idea how much my daughter is really capable of, immature as she is.
I could say the same of my hothead of a son.
I do wonder about my brother sometimes. However, it does seem that enrolling at this academy has helped him start breaking out of his shell.
With the Academy Festival coming next month, we hadn't even planned a field study. So the issue at hand is just whether to hold a field study at the end of this month or not. I'd like to ask those in favor of going ahead with this month's field study to please raise their hands.